Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Satisfactory with me, Spacefish, and also featuring a lot of graphic glitches here, apparently, initially, as we are loading back into the game, where in the last episode we did take a good bunch of care of actually starting to spool up, if we go one level up top, our second constructor of the game. And, well, this very one, as you can see right here, is supposed to be making us computers eventually. Now, there is a good bunch of stuff still to do, because on the one hand side, as you can see, we do have the plastic flowing in at this point. But on the other hand side, there is also a crazy network of like constructors and smelters and everything else going on right here. We do have, first things first, this circuit board production right here, which is still in dire need of copper sheets, which, if you'll remember, we are already producing over there in our, well, initial home base thingy. So we are going to be looking to bring those over today. And, well, then aside that, if we have a quick peek over here, oh god, and do not fall down a level, as I think I already managed to do last episode, we do still need some copper ore to make ourselves a good bunch of wires, and then subsequently cables for the production, and on top of that we do need iron ore, because we do want to make iron rods, and then we do want to make screws, and those screws are also supposed to flow into here. So screws, cables, circuit boards, and then we're pretty much good to go. So what we will have to do today is actually get all those materials routed to over here. So we do already have a conveyor belt down there that you may be able to spot that is bringing over copper ore to one of our other productions on the back side of the building. We will go and put a conveyor splitter right there, get that conveyor to over here and bring that up here on the left hand side today in order to go ahead and feed this little cable and wire production that we've got going on there. Then we will need to find out how to get the iron ore up here. I do have the feeling that we will probably need to go ahead and overclock one of these miners down there, because, well, as you can see through all the tons of splitters that we're already using down there, we are already using a good bunch of that iron ore capacity. And technically speaking, they don't really have much of any capacity left over in their current Mark II configurations, as far as I know. That said, as you may also be able to spot, these are running quite slowly, because I guess some of the productions have filled up at this point. So I mean, maybe we can just kind of circumvent upgrading or, well, boosting one of these with some power shards. We'll see. Probably, you know, given the amount that we have anyways, it doesn't make that much sense. But we'll see about that. Then we'll bring that up right here as well, and we'll, of course, make sure to get the copper sheets in, which, I mean, for the copper sheets, we probably want to have those coming in at this side, just given that we already have this whole thing set up right here. So that will be the idea to that. And also, what I do feel that we do somewhat probably want to make happen is getting that conveyor belt routed into there, because, you know, in the end, plastic nose needs to go into here. Aside from that, one more thing that I do want to check is our power, which, as you can see, we do still have a good bunch of leeway, so we're not going to be too worried about that just yet. But that's the plan then for today. Before we do get going properly, though, and while I probably take 2 years to get down these stairs anyways, if you're new around here, if you do, of course, happen to enjoy this very episode, please make sure to go ahead and smack that subscribe button right down below, straight in the face, in order to make sure to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. We are very much trying to head for 1,000 subscribers currently, as, well, still a very, very small YouTube channel, and every person just really does help out a ton. So thank you so much if you did that. But without further ado, let us go ahead and get some of these first bits and bobs routed in. So you can see right here that we do have the copper sheets already partially routed over from the last time around, and we were really just trying to figure out where to connect things up top. Now the issue with this all being that I mean, we can't really, to my knowledge at least, continue this overhead conveyor kind of thingy, which, well, stackable conveyor pole it is called. I would really like to avoid falling off this. Yeah, 7. That was the wrong thing to bind it to, but anyway, so you can see right here we're not really able to place this on the pipelines, unfortunately. So, bit unhappy about that, I have to say, but what we can do, at the very least for the time being, is going over here, Have I connected the other side as well? We have got a conveyor going that side already, right? I hope so. We'll find out now that we build the conveyor lift anyways, but I do kind of want to get that going, and it does seem... Yes, that is supposed to be the end, so we're going to go get that going. And we're going to go pull that down to about there, I would say. And that is going to be the end for our... copper sheets. That would be if... what's behind that? Do you guys see that properly? I'm a bit confused, but like this, I guess. Right, so here we go. That's how you want to set things up, and that's where we are going to be looking to route in these copper sheets. Now, how we get those over here is going to be a whole other different question, because, I mean, technically speaking, I would really like to go and route this around the top here as well, because if you'll remember, we did leave the space down below to allow our vehicle to actually go and pass through as needed. That said, well, I mean, it does transpire that despite some clipping occurring, I guess, we can technically route this thing around here. If we had any sort of concrete. No! We're out of concrete. That's a bit of an unfortunate one, but, as you can see from this one, maybe, potentially, our concrete production is luckily right around the corner. So that shall be very quickly fixed indeed, and then we shall hopefully be able to carry on, because I'm very unhappy about this interrupting our work a little bit. Now, aside that, I do think we also had some things that we did want to look at researching the MAM and everything, so we need to see, but as far as I remember, we did need more Caterium for that potentially, so we do need to see about that. Caterium still being a bit of a pain point, of course, because, well, after further discussions in the comments down below with Kristen, I think it has very much transpired that indeed, until we do get an obelisk, we're probably not really going to be able to... Ooh, God, help. To continue on any level of proper mining with Caterium, except for the solution that we, of course, already had, which I think none of us are really happy with, which is just using the little teeny tiny auto miners that we plunked down, because there's this huge rock still in the way, and we're nowhere near having obelisks, so we really need to find out how we're going to do that in the future. That said, as you can see, the copper sheeting is now happily shooting all the way up top to the factory, so that is a first bit out of the way of our important tasks for the day. Now for the copper, I'm going to need to place a conveyor splitter here somewhere. I do wonder if I can place a conveyor splitter down below here, if that will end up being an issue. Would be the ideal case, because we do need to bring things in somewhere right here. I do hope that I also have these sides connected, but I think we do. And you can see these two holes up there. As far as I remember from just being up top, the left one I think was the copper. And the right one, oh no. Well, I mean, we can build through that, but we should probably remove this little platform. The right one then was where we were going to be looking to get the iron routed in. So let's go and check if we can go and put that conveyor splitter down below here. Hopefully that does work as intended, of course. And this, yeah, that was already Mark II miner, okay. For that purpose, though, we do have to temporarily tear bits down here. Well, which isn't too terrible, because, I mean, there's still a ton of copper on that conveyor anyways, I would argue, and then, we can go and put that somewhere right there. Just going to allow us to nicely and neatly connect that through. Go and route that through there and into there. And there we go, and that, well, works. So, that's fine, I'm happy with that. Now we can go ahead and get this conveyor belt. Ooh, in fact, I mean, I would like to be able to drive across here with a car too, so really not. Ooh, wait, what did I just do? Oh, I don't know how I just changed that. But what I was going to say, I do want to do something a little like that to make sure that we give it a space, if you guys all know what I'm referring to. You love Formula 1 just like me, and we can be friends. Moving on from that though, I would like to just route it into there like that, to be honest. That'll leave some more space in the ground, but it's a bit on the tougher side, and I don't just want to clip through an entire mountain, probably. We could just clip it through an entire mountain. Too steep? Oh, go away. Okay. It's a bit up high still, for the game's taste, it seems, but we are going to route this around the back here, because I feel that's honestly quite the nice way of hiding that. And we're just going to imagine that the game made a little tunnel right here, right? So that's why that looks like that. And, well, it's going to take a second, most definitely, for enough copper to go through there until it's actually properly filled up. You can see it's a little spotty back there, but the backlog is starting to form, and that should be good to go in just a second as well. So I'm happy with that. Now, the last bit that we do need for this puzzle, of course, is going to be the iron ore. And I mean, for this purpose, all these are already Mark II miners, right? Unless I'm totally, like, out of my mind, but they are. So I don't know if we have any surplus capacity on these, to be honest. I mean, we could check it out. I just feel like it's probably going to be a bit of a waste of time to do that. Unless we can very quickly get ourselves to all the points where we're drawing things. So here we're using 30 a minute, right? And here we're using 30 minutes, so that's 60. Wait, is that everything that this thing's feeding? No, it's also feeding over to here. And then there, and then I absolutely am losing track. I mean, you can hear them spooling up and down quite heavily. And this thing, what is this feeding? I mean, this though. Okay, honestly speaking, I do feel like we should have some level of overhead from this. And, I mean, we're only using, like, needing 30 units of iron ore. I think we should be good, honestly, without any upgrades here. So we're going to just try it. Wait. Oh, this is a merger, not a splitter. Okay. I think the #1 challenge of the day, oh, and this is actually also feeding that, but the #1 challenge of the day will probably be somehow splitting off the iron ore that we need. I mean, this would have an empty point which we could draw on. No idea in the world. I mean, this is also spooling up and down, so I would hope, you know, we'll just try pulling some capacity off of this. If it doesn't work, we'll just put some power shards in there. With the other two, I mean, I'm quite positive that we would definitely have a chance to get the amount of materials needed. With this one, I'm not 100% sure, but honestly, we've got so many that, you know, worst case, we'll just put in a few more power slugs and we're good to go. I really don't mind that too much, so we'll just go try this. Cannot afford. Oh my god, man. I don't think we've ever been out of steel beams, have we? Has that ever happened? Being out of steel beams for constructing the Mark III conveyors? I think next to never. Well, in any case, I guess I'm going to go put in a quick cut right here, and oh my god, I will be right back when I'm finished lagging myself up all the way in this factory. And back we are, and luckily I didn't need to go all the way up, so that is quite nice, as you can see, and we're just, you know, chilling on our new copper conveyor belts as we try and find out. Oh, here, so this is where the line needs to go, so we're going to go yeet ourselves off right there. Get that connected through, and then all that iron will beautifully start flowing through, and I guess we'll be able to rather quickly spot. Well, maybe not. We won't really be able to that quickly spot how... Ooh, this is an issue. We need to upgrade that conveyor. The outflow speed is just not quick enough for how much that miner can output, I think. So that should help. Fingers crossed. And, there's certainly some good capacity being pulled from another conveyor as well, I have to say. Hopefully. We're not going to go slow down some important production of ours in this Megafactory, fingers crossed. Oh, I guess that is part of the steel production, right? And I just pulled like 400 steel beams, so That's probably why that needs that much, and ooh. I mean, it does certainly feel like it's pulling quite a lot, so... Woo! Alright, we're gonna overclock it. I don't think it quite has the amounts needed. We're just gonna make sure, you know? We are just gonna make sure, think ahead, and not, you know, just ensure that we don't have to come back at some point and, you know, worry why the production line isn't working and then spend like 2 bajillion years trying to fix everything when, you know, we may as well just slightly overproduce now and not have to come back to worry about it. And then, you know, if it does turn out we're overproducing, which without overclock we definitely are. I mean, that's 60 extra units, we only need 30, and I'm sure we had some surplus, but, you know, we can just use that extra capacity for something else in the future, I'm sure. So I am quite happy with that. That said, you all may know just how big this Megafactory has become, so I suspect I'll need another few minutes getting up this, so I'll be right back. Alright, back up we are, as you can see, with our beautiful production capacities already here waiting for us. Everything is already around that we need for some successful production runs, except for the power, which we are going to go and distribute some power lines across the place right this very second. Connect up this thing, connect up that thing, connect that up, and connect that constructor up. And that should at least get all the material slowly routed into there, which is a good start. And in fact, it is also going to already make us some circuit boards, which I very, very much like indeed. Now, we do have to hope that we do have enough plastic remaining here. That may become a bit of an issue. In terms of how many computers we get out, because I think we needed 10 to start burning oil, and we need to start burning oil in order to get more plastic going. Now, of course, we do have some plastic still in the back of our hands here, but he's really not that much remaining, so no, worst case, we may have to come back to get some other bits and bobs going here. And we also have absolutely forgotten about connecting these smelters here. So let's go ahead and do that. And then they can go ahead and get some ingots printed, which is then going to go get us some wires printed, some cables printed, some screws printed, and so on and so forth. So that's quite nice. Now, of course, the issue being that we need to somehow get those routed around in order to get them right into there. So that'll be a bit of a fun endeavor, especially, oh my god, I'm not liking it, I have to say. But we'll solve it. We'll solve it somehow. I think we'll be starting with a stackable conveyor pole right here, which of course we cannot center in the middle of the conveyor belt, because why in the world would we want to do that? Never mind, there it goes. And we'll go and slap that down right bang in the other side of that too. That should hopefully allow us to get one of these over the top. Well, in fact, we need to get both of these over the top with stackable conveyor poles like these, because if we can't, we have a bit of an issue, because we can't actually bring things around the wall here, because there's no space for conveyor lifts. So it's going to work a bit like this, basically. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully. I'm really not that happy with this. What I would like to look into is if we can get something like this going, right? So where we go and say boop, and then we say boop, and then basically whatever we have going into here, because I mean this has to make a bend, right? There's no more space. We have to kind of bring this into the outer ones, and we do have to bring the circuit boards basically all the way around on the other side, and then either down through here and into there, or around here and into there. So we need to kind of make sure to route things around properly. So this thing basically then has to make a bend, as I previously said. And I would like to also go put a little something in the middle here, and then a conveyor going from here to there, then going around, looping like that, And then that basically goes into there, and this thing here just kind of does a wide loop, which unfortunately doesn't look quite as good, but it does loop, and then goes into there. Then we have the same conveyors just going straight across right here. And then... Ooh. Of course! Of course we're missing another thing, but that is iron rods, and we should have a surplus in iron rods up here, luckily, thanks to producing these, and I'm quite sure that the screws don't need as many iron rods. Well, also, it doesn't help if the constructor isn't connected again. Oh my god, no, don't fall down. Oh, that was so close. We need a power pole. Somewhere over here. And then, connecting these, we can also finally start making screws and cables, which is going to be quite important, I have to say. But we do have the amount of iron rods now, thanks to that little mistake that we do want. So what we're going to do is we're going to route this thing to over here. I am going to pull this one out straight for a minute. And then we're basically... Ooh, I mean, that works. Going to go pull that thing over there. And then you can see that all those cables and all those screws are beautifully starting to flow around here and into that constructor. And I'm quite happy with that solution. It's not perfectly symmetrical or anything, not quite as beautiful as I would have liked it to be, but I think it is quite the practical solution in general, so I'm quite happy with that, I have to say. Now, I'm stuck. Help! After getting free of that little issue right there, we do still have to make sure to get this stuff routed around as well. And now, I mean, the question becomes, do we have enough clearance here on the walls? I really hope we do. We will... How did this thing work again? Because I know that the old walls are technically nothing we should be using anymore. Right. There was a new thing, and I thought I had researched it with you guys. Yes. There was a new conveyor wall mount, so I suppose that the principle here is probably intended to be you place a wall and then you place one of these conveyor thingies on there. I was a bit worried about being low in concrete, but I guess that's not an issue for us here. So we're going to just have a little lag. And we're going to go build these walls, first things first. And then the idea would be to go ahead and get these conveyor wall mounts here going, and that does indeed seem to be working. Also gives us more flexibility than with the conveyor walls, because we can actually get that going at different heights, it seems. So I like that quite a lot. Question is, how in the world do I align that with the other thing, because there's a green line basically on every level. So I hope that that is the right level that I've chosen right here. And then we're going to go around that through like this. Get a little conveyor lift going. That seems to be perfectly aligned even. Beautiful. That is where the circuit boards can go. Quite a lot of them already, as you can see. So very happy about that. Those are going to go get ferried all the way up and then all the way to here. And then I mean, we can pretty much already bring them down. We don't need to construct too many of these conveyor wall attachments, because around the outside here, really, I mean, we do have quite a bunch of space. So I'm not too worried about it. And, no, that's the wall, not the conveyor. Oh boy, I think my inventory's full, evidently, as you can see here. We did, unfortunately... Oh no! No! Okay. Still able to build it, despite the thing being in the way. But yeah, so, I mean, we don't really need the space around the outside here for anything else. At least currently. Not that I know of. So hopefully that's also going to be the case for the future. But that means then we can pretty much just pull it straight through, and kind of contemplating how we can do this bit. Of course, it was a bit too short, and now we can... Now we just remove the entirety of the thing again. And rebuild it. Had I placed it here, or had I placed it here? I'm hoping that I... Yes, that's good. Okay. So, then, you know, that this was kind of the plan that we had. We're going to bring that around, and we're going to go bring that in. And then there's no circuit boards flowing for whatever reason. I guess all the ones that were already produced are in these chests, and How do I open these? I tab. No. It's just this pickup button thingy, but N? No, that's a quick search. How do I open these guys? I've got no idea in the world. If you know, please let me know down below in the comments, because I am absolutely clueless, and I kind of think I need them, because this thing's probably run out of plastic now. It has indeed. That's why there's no new circuit boards flowing through. So, yeah, it would be great if the tooltip worked. Oh, no! What tragedy! I am kind of annoyed about that. If you know how to open these things, please let me know down below in the comments, because I've got absolutely no clue in the world. This game's currently not feeling like telling me. So we do need to find out about that one. Aside from that, though, you can see that everything's nicely flowing into the constructor. Pretty much all the things we need are in here. We just need to pretty much get those circuit boards out of there and then hope that we do somehow have enough plastic to get enough computers off the assembly lines. And once that is done, we can go ahead and use those computers for our first ever oil generator. Quickly followed then by getting even more computers and being able to build some beautiful fancy new toys. So that is the plan for the upcoming episodes. Very much looking forward to it. For today though, we're ending it off right here. Hope you all very much enjoyed it. Of course, if you did, please make sure to go ahead and smash that like button right down below for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. With all those things out of the way though, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.